Yêu thương là nguồn cội để ta đến với những ước mơ. Yêu thương là đến những bến bờ, là tình cha, tình mẹ, tình anh em, cả thế giới đại đời. Yêu thương như dòng sông chảy mãi, chảy mãi. Yêu thương như biển du, ngàn năm sóng vỗ bờ không ngừng nghỉ. Như lời mẹ ru
Breathe.
Behold the rising dawn, we welcome the new energy. Open your arms above, sorrows will be far away. Lighting of kindness.
Hello everyone, welcome to NLG Energy University daily live stream and NLG Level 1 English online class day 1. My name is Kristen Tran and I will be your Level 1 instructor for today. Before we start class, we will receive the daily transmission from Mr. Lee very shortly. And I will play the instruction video on how to receive the daily transmission as usual. And this daily transmission from Mr. Lee, it's for all of you to receive regards any levels. So make sure you relax your body and mind to receive this energy effectively. And remember, this daily transmission is only effective in real time. So if you watch it the next day, it won't be as effective. And after the transmission, we will go straight into level 1 English day 1. And if you are in higher energy levels and want to refresh your memory of level 1, you're welcome to stay for the session. And for those of you who are new, this is your first time watching this, please relax your body and mind to receive the daily transmission from Mr. Lee, and our level 1 day 1 class will resume after the transmission.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our NLG live stream. Mr. Lee would like to send the NLG energy to our beloved audience. When he says start, please look into the middle of his forehead and imagine you are receiving energy into your forehead. Just relax and let this loving energy absorb through your body for 5 minutes and 30 seconds until Mr. Lee says done.
Trong sự kiện hợp nhất tình thương kiến tạo hạnh phúc của Energy, mời quý cô bác anh chị cùng đón nhận những năng lượng an lành từ chú Phúc. Khi chú Phúc nói bắt đầu, quý cô bác anh chị nhìn vào trán của chú Phúc, hình dung nhận năng lượng từ trán của chú vào trán của quý cô bác anh chị và để năng lượng tự lan tỏa cho đến khi chú Phúc thông báo hết giờ.
Dạ rồi, con mời chú. Dạ rồi.
Rồi bây giờ chú nói được phải không?
Dạ.
Okay. Good evening everyone. Welcome to daily live stream. Xin chào tất cả cô bác anh chị em đến với chương trình live stream mỗi ngày của chúng ta. Và bây giờ chú xin mời tất cả cùng đón nhận từ năng lượng vũ trời chữa lành. Please get ready for yourself to receiving the energy. Và we begin now. Để chúng ta bắt đầu. Okay, we are finished. We'll see you tomorrow. Xin chào tất cả các bạn chị em và hẹn gặp lại vài ngày mai. Chào tạm biệt.
All right, so that was the daily transmission from Mr. Lee, and I hope most of you get to receive it. And if you come in late, let me introduce myself again. My name is Kristen Tran, and I am the energy participant level 4 DNA, and I will be your level 1 instructor for today and tomorrow. And most of you might know me as one of the translator of energy. And I am Vietnamese. I'm currently living in the United States, and I came here when I was a kid. I came to know about energy through my family and officially learned the method in August 2021 and have achieved excellent results. So after spending quite a lot of time assisting Mr. Lee in different level of classes, I'm honored to be the level 1 and level 2 instructor alongside Isabella and sharing what we have learned from Mr. Lee, what we have learned from energy with everyone around the globe. So as the instructor, I am allowed to provide the activations for level 1 during today's and tomorrow's class. And even though we're broadcasting the level 1 class online, we ask that you use the link we have distributed on our Facebook page and fill out the form to register so we can keep track of the attendance and also provide additional support as needed. And please rest assured that your information is confidential and we will not share your information with any third party under any circumstances. And also to receive the updates, class formula, and also schedule of future classes, you can download the Telegram app to your phone. It works on Android and iOS operating system, and the app is free to download. So make sure you check it out right after class. And also, if you enjoy class and the content and want to learn more, please click like, subscribe, and share our page NLG Energy University for the latest information about the upcoming online and on-site courses. So without further ado, let's get started with day 1 content. So before we start class, I want to go over a few recommendations. We call it class recommendations instead of using the rules, because here in NLG, we don't force anyone to do anything that they don't like. So we come up with this term, recommendations. So first, please arrange the time to attend the course on time to receive the activations fully. We know that for level 1, you need to receive 2 activations for today and tomorrow to complete level 1 class. And also being on time shows respect for the instructor and everyone else. This is pretty much a common sense. Whether you go to work or you go to school, this will apply to pretty much anything. And also, because we schedule the class time close to the time when Mr. Lee has his daily transmission, there will be a lot of people clicking the same link and we will have network congestion. So if you join early, it might help you prevent this issue. Second, choose your study space. We learn energy method, and this is a technique about using the energy to heal your body and mind. So study space is extremely important. If you set up your study space in a quiet place, away from all distraction, especially during the time of activations and during the class exercise in which we practice the formula together, it will help you a lot because you can focus on class 100%. And copyright of NLG content without our permission is prohibited. So please do not record or distribute our video lecture online without our consent. If you feel the need to watch the videos again, we will record it and we will post it on our YouTube channel, and you can watch it as many times as needed. So you don't have to worry about recording it. And for those of you who are not tech savvy, you can attend our course using your cell phone, iPad, laptop, but make sure that you check your device before attend the online classes. Like, make sure you have internet connection, make sure you have battery, and make sure the audio quality is good. It really doesn't help you if you cannot hear me. So make sure you check all that. And we will have time for participants to ask questions about the course, the formula, and also practice recommendations. So please save your questions until the end of the session, and we encourage you to participate, to ask questions, because some of the questions that you ask, other participants might have the same question. So don't be shy and just use our chat box feature and ask the questions. So a few things that you need to keep in mind is when you learn the NLG method, the original energy source, NLG, năng lượng gốc in Vietnamese method, it's provided by the NLG Energy Source University, and is there to support anyone seeking assistance from NLG. And most of NLG online courses are completely free. The NLG technique and information, it's only for educational purpose, and it cannot be substitute for the advice or care of medical professionals. It also does not replace doctor diagnosis or medical treatment. We recommend all participants, whether you choose to learn energy method or any health improving methods, to consult with your doctors prior before you decide to learn that, because we will not accept any liability or warranty, or not be responsible for any individuals if you do not see any improvements. And NLG participants are responsible for their current state of health and will need to monitor their progress. So you know your state of health better than anybody else. We need you to make sure that you know your state of health before you learn NLG method. And also, when you know your state of health and you track it, you will know if you receive any improvements. And it helps a lot, because when you do that, you will know that if you practice wrong, and you can go back and fix it. NLG participants need to have self-awareness and follow instructions and the formulas in order to achieve desired outcome. Pretty straightforward. When you learn anything, you would have to follow the instructions, follow step by step if you want to achieve any benefits. So this is something that you need to keep in mind when you learn the NLG method. NLG is not a religion, and neither is it a meeting ground for ritual activities. We do not recommend you, we do not advise you to abandon your family duties. We do not advise you to give up your religion, your belief, your opinion. Here in NLG, we simply just want to share our technique and help everyone improve their health and mental health. So please keep that in mind. And we do not advise you to join any political party or religion either. And we do not participate in any religion or political institution of any country. In the US, Vietnam, anywhere, we don't do that. So please keep that in mind. And when you hear somebody saying something about NLG, you know that you receive this information directly from one of the instructors, and so you can be aware that you don't spread, you don't receive the wrong information in the future. And so that is one of a few things that you need to remember before you come to learn NLG method. And also, we don't reach out to you directly and ask you to pay any fee or pay any consultant fee to register for class. So that's another thing. If you receive that kind of message, please let one of us know immediately, so that way we can take appropriate action. And now we get to go into the details of today's lecture. So what are you seeing here are the 3 logos that were introduced on April 23rd, 2023, during the grand opening of NLG Center. So on the left side right here, you see the logo, Cosmic Delight Light logo. It started off as the bronze drum, or we call it trống đồng in Vietnamese. And on April 23rd of 2023, Mr. Lee decoded the 3rd code of this logo to bring out the energy that embraced all beings, which resulted in this perfect circle right here. And this perfect circle, it looks like the light that's shining brightly, guiding all beings to improve family happiness on the logo, the family logo on the right side right here. And when we look at this cosmic divine light logo, when you're in higher level of energy, you will come to realize that we can rely on this logo as our advisor, our guidance, to help us in many situations in our daily life. And if you're interested in learning more about the true meaning behind this logo and the details of how Mr. Lee decoded for the first time, I encourage you to attend the details class to, hear more about the information. And moving to the right side right here, we have the logo that portrays a family of 4, all connected, full of happiness and genuine love. And the pink color right here represents true and complete happiness, which is something that not a lot of us get to enjoy nowadays. It's something that we've been missing for so long, but that is another topic that you will get to hear in details when you decide to advance to higher levels. So when we go back to look at this family logo, we see underneath the family, there are 13 heartbeats. 12 of them represent the 12 months in a year, and the 13 heartbeats represents humanity's connection to the energy from a place that we call the outer space civilization. So to connect with this energy, first, we need the key that unlocks the door. And with this key, you will get to connect with the energy. But after you connect with the energy, this connection has to be maintained continuously throughout your daily life. And it's not just when you practice and then you forget about it. And going to the middle, you will see the Energy University logo right here, which represents humankind wisdom, which will be upgraded after they connect and receive the energy and continue to maintain this connection. With this upgraded wisdom, all of us will be able to evolve, transform, and establish a civilized, disciplined civilization and continue to maintain beauty and harmony. So that is the meaning of the 3 logos right here. After you finish level 1, you will have the basic knowledge about energy source. You will also understand the technique, the how to connect with the energy, and you will also understand the things that you can do to maintain this connection. You will also hear me talk about the benefits of learning energy. And we will have the activations, like I said, we will have 1 activation today and 1 activation tomorrow. And I will go over the formulas and we will get to practice the formula together. On the right-hand side here, you see energy development, Vietnam and globally, meaning there are more and more people have learned and practiced energy and notice improvements. Hence, I am here as the instructor to make sure that the correct message are shared with a new student so all of us can gain benefits as well. And if we go down, we will see receiving energy source. We will know how to connect and receive the energy source. And I use the logo, the Wi-Fi logo right here. It's something that you will hear Mr. Lee repeat as you enter higher level of classes. He will use Wi-Fi as the metaphor to basically explain this connection with the energy from outer space. So now that we get to the introduction part of energy, I'm pretty sure you want to know what energy method is about. So energy stands for năng lượng gốc in Vietnamese, meaning the original energy source in English. And the reason why Mr. Lee chose to pronounce it energy in English like that is because he believes that it will help the majority of people, English speakers, to recognize the term and pronounce it easier. So that's why we have the energy, we call it the energy. And the energy source basically teaches us a practical way to meditate with awareness, associated the ideas about love, morality in order for us to lead a meaningful life. And when you practice the energy formula, you need to rely heavily on the true nature of love, morality, in order for you to create the appropriate frequency to connect with the energy from outer space. And once you get to connect with the energy from outer space, then you will start to see improvement on your health and wisdom. And so that is why energy is there to inspire and empowers all of us to improve our mental and physical health. And energy source method, it's found by Mr. Lê Văn Phúc, aka Mr. Lee. He was born in Dong Nai province, Vietnam. And at the age of 22, he migrated to the United States with his family. Later in the US, he also received this great opportunity to learn energy from a special teacher. He then applied energy, practiced energy on himself, and after gaining remarkable outcomes, he devoted his life, basically want to bring out this knowledge about energy to everyone. In 2020, he came back to Vietnam, and together with other energy volunteers, they share energy technique and they try to help as many Vietnamese as possible within the Vietnamese community. During that time, he opened many classes. In 2021, he returned to America and continued to share the energy method with everyone around the globe, primarily online classes, and later, due to the intense content of these high-level class, he opened offline and on-site classes. His main goal is to help everyone practice the energy technique correctly and successfully so that they can improve their health and they can continue to promote true love and to live a fulfilling life. So if you recall what I shared earlier, we have a lot of participants from all over the world learning energy today. But even though Mr. Lee teaches energy method, he doesn't want us to address him as teacher or master or anything formal. You can simply address him as Mr. Lee. And as for me, you can just call me by my first name. There's no need to address formally. So what types of class and programs does energy offers? So the energy method consists of 5 levels of classes from level 1 to level 5. And each level will contain the knowledge and the appropriate frequency according to that level. The higher you go, the more information you will learn about the method. And also the number of training days will also increase. For example, level 1 will consist 2 days of training. Level 2 will be 1 day of training. Level 3 will be 3 days of training. Level 4 be 5 days of training. And finally, the highest level, level 5, will consist 13 days of training. And to advance to the next level, you have to receive the complete activations and you have to complete the class in order. So you have to finish level 1, receive 2 activations, and then move to level 2 and so forth. And the number of activations for each level of classes will be announced at the beginning of the class, just like I did earlier. I let you know how many activations you will receive for today and tomorrow class. And one thing that you're going to hear me talk over and over again is when you learn energy, you must follow instructions. You must follow the formula when you practice so you can see benefits. And one of the example is that if you miss one activation for level 1, let's say you missed today activation, tomorrow I can't provide the activation again. I will move on to the next content and the next activation. And if you miss one activation, you won't be able to practice the formula or advance to the next level. You would have to retake the class again. So if you really decide that you want to learn level 1, make sure that you are committed. Make sure that you attend both sessions to avoid wasting your time. And I will do my best to make the content as easy as digest as possible. And another reason that we want you to understand the technique of energy and want to take the class in order is that we want you to know the key, the core knowledge to practice. And once you know the key, the core knowledge, you practice and you notice improvements on yourself. It's like you build a strong foundation for your house. Once you have a solid foundation, the rest will come naturally and easily. And additionally, the reason why we divide the class this way is because we don't want you to have information overload. So after you complete level 1, with the information that you hear, if things aren't clear for you, you can ask questions. You can send your questions on Telegram. And most of the time, I'm active. And so I can be able to answer your questions. And besides the 5 levels of classes, NOG also offers 3 special programs. The first one is to apply NOG to agriculture, forestry, and fishery. This program will provide the formula and necessary knowledge to help farmers, businesses, or individuals to implement NOG on agriculture, forestry, and fishery. And with this program here, the goal is to minimize or avoid the use of toxic chemicals to produce quality food, but can still maximize profit. And if you want to attend this program, you need to finish level 3 or above in order to attend this program. The second program is to apply energy to support couples with infertility concerns, those couples who wish to have healthy, intelligent babies, and or to minimize and avoid the chances of having genetic diseases. To learn these programs, both partners will have to complete NOG level 3 as a minimum requirement. And of course, we have the third program is to become an energy instructor, like I am. And the candidates are strictly selected by Mr. Lee, and you would have to complete level 4 or above to become an energy instructor. So that is all the special programs and classes that NOG offers. And who can learn and practice NOG method? Pretty much everyone. Everyone can learn the NOG method as long as you want to learn. And we have listed out the categories to help you remember. So like for kids, you need to be 8 years old and beyond to learn the NOG method. And of course, everybody else like you and I regards any health conditions. If you truly want to improve your health, then you can definitely learn this method. And the last section, experience NOG energy source. So if you are not sure that this NOG method is right for you yet, you're so new, you can start watching the daily transmission live from Mr. Lee, and you can receive the daily transmission on our Facebook and YouTube page. And most of the time on YouTube, we post different different videos, testimonies from participants from all over the world. So you can go on there and you can take a look if you are not sure if this method is right for you. And most of the time, a lot of participants have shared that after they watch Mr. Lee, after they watch the daily transmission from Mr. Lee for the first time and receive the daily transmission energy, they feel refreshed and they could sleep so much better that same night. So that is something that I encourage you to experience. And we also have our website here, nogeu.com. This is our official website, and it's currently on like an improvement process. And we hope that we will be able to share more contents like blog, videos, or pictures with all of you in the future. So that was an overview of the NOG method. Next, we're going to move over to the actual contents. So as you can see right here, these are the 3 main objectives of NOG energy source. And this is basically the goals in which the NOG energy source we want to help resolve. The first one is wars and conflicts. The second one is poverty and hunger. And the third one is diseases and sickness. these three objectives are also the world's serious problems. And if you actually pay attention to what's going on around you, you know that these issues has been around for the last decades. Even though we continue to advance with new technology, new knowledge, new inventions, the positive impacts and the improvements that we see on people is also still limited. We still see poor people everywhere. We still see people suffering because they're sick everywhere. But the thing is, we're not here to debate, to blame each other for these issues. We are here to learn a way to help resolve these issues peacefully and wisely. And when we willing to do this together, when we help each other turn hate into love, we will be able to create an appropriate frequency, and we can be able to connect with the energy from outer space. And a lot of you might say that these issues have nothing to do with me, but if you look at these problems one by one from your own perspective, you will see that none of us wants our loved one to get sick or to go through with sadness, depressions. It doesn't matter if you know how rich they are, if they have any success or failure, they are our loved ones. And it hurts us to see that. And we don't want to see our family members going through that either. And because I've witnessed some of my dearest family members suffer from terminal illness, pain, and even anxiety, from this personal experience, I've decided to do my best to help as many people as possible. And with poverty and hunger, if you are fortunate to have a job and a stable income to put food on the table and support your family, it is wonderful. But many of us, they're not fortunate. Without sufficient and stable income, there are many families that can't afford nutrition food or even clean water. And that's why we see here in NLG, we put poverty and hunger go hand in hand, because every day we walk outside, we still see, so many homeless. And so this is one of the serious problem. Wars and conflicts, this is not something new, and it happens almost every day. Conflicts arise when people disagree with each other, families fighting each other, coworkers, disagreements. Conflicts happen in so many forms. And sometimes it's not even a big deal, but we tend to let it escalate into something bigger, and it involves multiple people, and it hurts multiple parties. The reason why I'm sharing that with you, because I want you to know that it is important to look at these issues and how NLG, how we put morality and 5 forms of love at something. It's the key that for us to connect with the energy. And later, these 3 issues here, you're going to hear it over and over again. It's part of the objectives of energy method when you decided to attend higher level. And it's also the first step for you to successfully get the key and to help resolve these issues to the best you can. And when we all do that, we can start building a better community for ourselves and for our families. And let's say if you ignore this, if you think that it has nothing to do with you, and you ignore this and you just want to get to the technique right away, yes, you can, but you might not receive the results that you're looking for, because it's like you have to learn how to walk before you start running. So that is the reason why we do it step by step, so you can understand. And right here, you see we add morality and 5 forms of love. Why is it so important? Because despite the fact that some of us might have different opinions and how to apply morality in our daily lives, in NLG method, we simply understand morality is the principle that contains different moral ethics to enable humankind to distinguish the differences between right and wrong. When we decide that we want to put aside our own preferences and our own opinion and truly apply this concept for the greater good, we will then be able to work together toward a common goal rather than seeking only advantages at the expense of others. And so the more you apply morality into your daily life, the more you will develop a sense of responsibilities towards yourself and also others around you. And I'm pretty sure this is not a new thing for most people. And some could even argue that they already have moral values and this is not new, and they know the differences between right or wrong. But the thing is, if we only say we have moral values and we don't apply them to our daily actions, for example, you disrespected your parents, you scam people's money for your own profits, or let's say you don't have all the actual facts, but then you start going around spreading rumors about things, about others, turning people against each other, fighting each other, start conflict. These are the real life examples. And I'm pretty sure, when things like that happen, you can imagine what's going to happen next. So that is why when you come to learn the energy method, and you want to advance to the higher level, I advise you to come with an open mind. Why is that? Because when you come to learn with an open mind, you will be ready to welcome the new information. And it takes time for us to accept this new information. But as long as we have an open mind, we will be able to figure out a way for us to make sense of this new information. And sometimes you might disagree with the information that I'm sharing, but at the end of the day, we all have the option to choose what works best for us. And through your journey of learning NLG, you will continue to hear Mr. Lee, and you will continue to hear many instructors. We would talk about morality, the principle of morality repeatedly due to the important nature of this concept. And the following principle that that is important as morality is the 5 forms of love. And I will explain to you why we have 5 forms of love and not just one. But first, let me say that all of us, we know how to love. And a matter of fact, we say, I love you to your partner, to your family members every day on the phone. But the thing is, when we say that, have we take a step back and actually evaluate if our actions align with what you say? And I'm guilty of that sometimes. Because love, it comes in all types. But the moment when I've learned the energy method, I came to realize that when talking about love, we have one type, one meaning of love. It is the most honest, purest type of love. And this love can be selfish. This is not the love that you say, I want all the benefits for myself and my family and nobody else. That kind of love, it's not the meaning that I'm talking about here. Or if I can't have him or her, nobody else can. Because for quite sometimes, due to social norms, cultural differences, different opinion, restrictions, pressure from the environment that we're living in, we tend to misunderstand the actual meaning of love. We have used love as an excuse way too much to justify our actions as regular as possible. I love my children, so they need to do what I want. I treat him so well, so he has to listen to what I say. And the examples that I just listed above, we see them, almost everywhere. And it happened to you and it happened to me. So when you learn NLG, when you learn the energy method, you love selfishly without any concerns of others' well-being. you're basically allow yourself to lose direction. And when we don't have the proper direction, when we're lost, let's just put it that way, we can't be able to differentiate the differences between right or wrong. Remember I said earlier about morality, and it's like you say that I have moral ethics, but it's only a say in theory. So that is why when you come to learn the energy method, you first learn that these are the three issues, and you learn morality and 5 forms of love. It's basically a combo that support each other, and you need both principles to form this soothing frequency if you want to connect with the energy. It is the core knowledge of your practice, and without this key, like I said, there will be no foundation. And if you build your house not on the strong foundation, then it will not last very long. And throughout level 1, and let's say you decide to attend higher levels, you will hear these two principles over and over again. And I remember Mr. Lee always tell us that when it comes to morality and 5 forms of love, one hand, you firmly hold true morality and make sure you express it through your daily behavior. What you say about other people, how you interact with others, important, it matters. And the other hand, you hold firmly to the 5 forms of love. And so the moment that we are about to do something that we know it could hurt others, we need to take a moment and remember that if we make a mistake like this, we won't be able to hide it, because the truth can be hidden. We can hide the mistakes from others, but we cannot hide it from ourselves. And so make sure that every day, before you say every word, before you make every decisions, you think carefully and you think consciously to prevent unfortunate events, and later you feeling regret. So that is one of the first message that Mr. Lee and that I have learned when I first learned the energy method. And another part of learning the energy method is to create an appropriate frequency to connect with the energy from outer space. And we know, because I just explained, that we need morality and 5 forms of love to do that, to achieve that key. And we all agree that we need to love correctly and truthfully, and it can't be a selfish love. It has to be the most honest and purest love. But if we need to love correctly, who should we love first? So to help you prioritize a way to promote true love, Mr. Lee has shared the 5 categories, aka the 5 forms of love, as follow. So you have self-love, or you can say love yourself. The second one is love your family. Third one is love for your country. The fourth one is love for humankind. And the fifth one is love for all living things. It is essential that you grasp this concept from the start of your learning energy journey. So why we put self-love, why self-love comes first, but not last? Why can't we put others first before ourselves? Because let's say you want to help others, like you want to take your parents to the supermarket, or you want to take care of your parents. You want to take good care of your children. You want to help your friends getting through tough times because he or she has anxiety, depressions, etc. How can we have such strength to do these mentioned activities when your body is not in the healthy state? If you are struggling with depression yourself, then clearly, you have to help yourself first, because once you are healthy, you can be able to share your experience. You can be able to share your resources, like, oh, I did this and it helps me. So maybe you should try it too. because they notice your transformation. They notice that you look healthy, you look happy. So therefore, they believe in you and they're willing to try. So that's the way that you can help others. Let's say you don't have enough sleep or you don't consume healthy food because whatever reasons you're busy, your body might not have the strength to perform the daily task. You won't be able to finish your chores or your tasks at work. So when we mention, when you learn energy method and you hear we talk about self-love, this is the kind of self-love that we're talking about here, is to ensure that you take proper care of yourself, your body, and your mind. Because once your body is in the balanced state, it's in a healthy state, then you have the strength to start helping others. And in today's world, we've seen so many husbands, wives, pretty much everyone, juggling with taking care of their families, taking care of their careers, and so forth. There are too many things that we worry about. And on the other hand, we want to take good care of, our partners, our husband, our wives, our children. And because we want to do that so badly, sometimes we go above and beyond and we forget our own limit. We forget what we need, we neglect our needs. And we think that we will have time to rest later to catch up. But at the end, most of the people that I know accidentally place themselves in like a burnout situation. They get stressed out, they act angry, irrationally, and it brings like a negative impact to their relationships as well. And I believe that when we learn to shift the priority to self-love, and we can think like, I have to be healthy first so I can take care of my family, so I can be there for my children, I can be there for my friends. Until we shift that priority and our thought, then we will continue to be stuck and possibly feel miserable. And even worse, others, the people that love us, they will notice that too, and it will hurt them as well. And so in level 1, we recommend that you work on the first 2 forms of love, which are self-love and love for your family. And for self-love, you can actually start today. Ask yourself this question. Do you say nice things to yourself? Do you take good care of yourself? And if you're in a situation that, makes you angry, maybe take like 5 minutes, to remain calm, to be calm, to make sure that you're okay, or however long that you need. And also every day, if you can spend 5 minutes and 30 seconds on yourself every day to recharge and make this a part of your life and not just a chores that you have to do, your mental health will transform slowly. But before you do that, you have to be willing to apply that to your daily lives. And once you understand the technique, the energy technique, and you also understand the key, and you also understand the practice, the formula, with the practice, you will start to experience improvement. And if you watch our live stream, our previous live stream, you will hear that most participants, they notice mental, like improvements on their mental health. That's a very first thing that they notice. They feel happier, they feel refreshed, they feel that they can be focused, even though they don't need any coffee or anything like that. So that's something that you can try first and see if you can experience the benefits for yourself. And right here, you see that we use the image of the heart anatomy also to show you that, how you feel can either help or impact your heart, your body, and your cells as well. Because besides having like a good diet and healthy lifestyle, you also need to look inward at your mental well-being. When your mood is well balanced, your heartbeat will beat at a regular rate of 60 to 100 ppm. But when you're angry, you're anxious, you're experiencing negative situations, your heart rate will slightly change. And sometimes it's increasing the heart rate, and sometimes it's decreasing. So it is necessary that you maintain this balanced state at all times, so it can help stabilize your heart rate. And in the NLG method, we call this balanced state the +1 -1 state, or +1 -1 frequency. And without this frequency, you won't be able to connect with the energy from outer space. And the reason why that we keep emphasizing that it's necessary to have the +1 -1 is, so you can connect with the energy successfully. Because when you connect with the energy successfully, it's like recharging your body, recharging your cells. And we know that we need resources like food, water, and especially oxygen to survive. There are essential things to help us. And without these, our daily functions will be very limited. And let's take oxygen, for example. Oxygen is important. We breathe in and out. And without oxygen, even if you have food or water, you won't be able to survive. So when you learn NLG, we want and we will remind you to think of this energy as important as oxygen, because you need it most of the time. This energy helps nourish your body cells from the inside. And even though you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, pretty much like oxygen, we can't see, smell, or touch it, but we know that it's there. We don't need to remind ourselves that, oxygen is there. So that is something, that is the goal that we want to help you achieve. The moment that you want to connect with the energy, you have to believe in it, because once you believe, once you affirm your belief, you will automatically, with all the ingredients that I just listed, you will be connected with the energy. And when you practice the energy method daily, it's like you're feeding your cells additional nutrition so they can maximize their performance. And this practice is also a way for you to show love for yourself, which is the first form of love, self-love, right here. Remember I said earlier that if you spend 5 minutes and 30 seconds every day for yourself to recharge yourself, this is basically the example. And once you practice daily and you notice improvements, you can then share this knowledge, what you have learned, with your family, and they will see your transformation. They will see, and they will be curious, and they would want to try as well. So when we want to show people something, like we want to help them learn, let's say, a new method, we have to look good ourselves first. We have to feel good. We have to be the example to help, people see that if I can do it, so can you. So that's why I said it's important that you know the concept, the principle, the technique. And after you receive 2 activations from level 1, if you continue maintain your morality, 5 forms of love, in conjunction with this +1 -1 frequency, it will help you connect with the energy each time you practice. And additionally, it is easier to say than done, but it is my job here as the instructor to help sharing this message, and will help keep reminding everyone that don't let go of your morality and choose to love yourself correctly and truthfully. And when you feel good about yourself, your thoughts, your perspective will also shift to a better direction. It will attract many, many positive things come into your life, because guess what? Light attracts light. So when we in a situation in which people make us angry, or we automatically get into when people make us angry, we automatically get into a defense position. Like we want to fight back, we want to argue, we're feeling rage. And the sooner we gain self-awareness over our emotions, our body, our mind, the sooner we start to acting rationally, and we will prevent unnecessary mistake. We might not be able to control how or what people think about us, but we can definitely modify our thoughts and try to at least make the best out of the bad situation. So like, for example, let's say you have a plan to go out to go out with your friends, and you've been planning this for so long. On the day that you're supposed to go out with your friends, it starts raining and it's pouring, and so all of you have to cancel the plan last minute. Will you let it bother you and complain about it throughout the day? Or will you find an alternative plan and then another activity like cleaning the house, finish your work, and cooking a good meal for yourself to basically substitute with the extra time that you have? Because the weather is beyond our control. And if we know, we are aware of this is beyond our control, and we also aware of our thoughts, we know we will be angry, we know we'll be mad, then we can definitely do something to modify them before it starts taking over our entirely emotions. And definitely we will be able to find a way to enjoy this rainy day regardless, if we at least try to shift our thoughts to a better direction. And before we argue with someone for whatever reason, and let's say you want to argue, you're the person that always want to win the battle, and you think that you win, but at the end of the day, no one really winning. So either you get hurt, or the other person get hurt, or both of you get hurt. So ask yourself that, is it really worth it? Another thing is that don't let your mind occupy with so many negative thoughts, because when you do that, you won't have space to see the positive things. You won't have space for anything else. And if you truly love yourself, you will not let the negativity wear you down. And so the initial step to implement this first form of love, self-love, is to try to achieve the +1 -1 frequency. And during the time that I was translating, assisting Mr. Lee, I remember he often say that when people say hurtful things to you or try to make you angry intentionally, instead of seeking revenge, we can think them twice. So when you encounter these situations, you know you can't control what they want to say about you, but what you can modify is your thoughts, your emotions. Think of these difficulties, think of these people as like a test, an exam that you have to pass. And believe it or not, each of us, we have our own exams that are like that. And if we continue to try to apply morality and 5 forms of love daily, we will automatically recognize these challenges. And therefore, we will try to avoid it before it gets escalated. And so why we say +1 -1 frequency, why we choose this is because this is the most soothing frequency that your brain cells and your body cells prefers to connect. If we think about it, it's also the easiest number that we often use to do math. Anybody can understand that. And this +1 -1, pretty much like the heart rate per minute that I explained earlier, it's considered normal, not too fast, not too slow. And it's the concept that in your mind, and only you can form it based on the support of morality and 5 forms of love. When you have true love, you will automatically form this +1 -1. When you're too happy, too excited, too sad, or too angry, you're out of the +1 -1 zone. So if you don't have the +1 -1 yet, then it's not too late to work on it, as long as you are committed. And we all capable to create this frequency. We all have love, we all have morality, but the level of love and moral values that we have are varies for each individual. That's why we see some people, when they practice the energy method, they can notice the benefits right away, whereas it might take longer for others to feel warmth. So we understand that each of us have different opinion, life experience, and knowledge. But at the end of the day, I believe we all wanting the same thing, to have true happiness and a healthy life. And so that is why you're going to hear +1, -1 a lot throughout the time that you decide that you want to learn NLG. And my job here is to share this technique with you and what I have learned from Mr. Lee to help you decide, to help you clarify things clearly through the lens of morality and 5 forms of love. So you can be able to connect with the energy, to expand your wisdom, to upgrade your wisdom and intelligence over time. And tomorrow, after you complete this level 1 class and practice the formula by yourself for the first time, see if you can maintain the +1, -1 state before, during, and after your practice, and extend that to your daily activities. And the higher up level class that you go, the more challenges, the more difficulties that you will see. But at the same time, once you practice energy consistently, correctly, you will notice that energy will automatically be your mentor, your guidance that can help you, guide you through those challenges and those difficulties. And so after you receive the activation for level 1, you will have the formula to practice on yourself. And many have asked me, why do we pick 5 minutes and 30 seconds to practice the formula? What can we achieve during that 5 minutes and 30 seconds? So first, let's look at this picture here, the chicken and the egg. If you look at that, the chicken and the egg, and if you search online, you know that this question has come up and has received so many debates. So many people has been arguing, circling around this topic. But at the end of the day, we don't know which comes first, the chicken or the chicken eggs. And we don't need to do that because it brings us no value. So let's take a moment and shift our focus to this picture here, incubating chicken eggs timeline. So based on most guidelines, we find that it takes about 21 days on average for the chicken eggs to hatch. And during this 21 day cycle, there are certain guidelines like we have to follow, such as the temperature where we place the eggs. And there are many experts that have tested to see if the chicken eggs can be hatched in less than 7 days. And at the end, they decide that the most acceptable timeline is 21 days of incubations with the right temperature will bring out good results. So when let's say you try to speed things up and you crack the shells or you crank up the temperature, it could damage the chicks. Because Mr. Lee has practiced the energy method on himself first, and he has done his research. He's concluded that the 5 minutes and 30 seconds is the best time for energy participants to practice the formula to achieve the results. And the right temperature here during the incubation process represents our self-awareness and +1 -1 state. And this durations this practice, the practice time might shift as you advance to higher levels. But for now, we focus on maintaining our self-awareness, focus on receiving the energy without any distraction, no pressure, no negative thoughts for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And if you can do that, you have made good progress already. And 5 minutes and 30 seconds, let's be realistic here. It is hard for most of us. I know it's hard for me to train online, to wander around. but and I can't, if you are a meditation expert, this is probably not hard for you, but for most, it might be hard. So 5 minutes and 30-second time frame, it's easy to follow. And additionally, let's say you buy a cell phone, you don't normally wonder why the phone is built this way or why the wire connects to this board, because we know that the engineers and experts who designed the phone, they have tested all models and they select the best one to build. So to sum up, we encourage all of you, if you are seriously want to learn the energy method, you must follow instructions. You must follow the duration time, and we have added the duration time to the formula. And if you do that, then you can receive the activation effectively, and you can start experience the results. And next we going to have the activation. This is something that I believe most of you have been waiting for. So give me 1 second. I'm going to show you the video of how you should receive the brain self activation. This is the first activation that you will receive for today's class. If you are in level 2, 3 or 4, please don't receive this activation, because you will go back to level 1. And for those of you who are new to NLG, this is your first time, then you can receive the activation. Make sure you keep your eyes open at all time. And just look at my forehead and visualize receiving the energy from my forehead to your brain until the alarms ring. And let me show you. We have the video to make sure you practice the right way, and make sure you find a comfortable positions. If you can't sit straight, you can lay down as well, but make sure you keep your eyes open, and please don't fall asleep. So this is basically the demonstration video. Make sure that you receive the energy from my forehead to your brain. And if you feel warm or tingly, you can take a deep breath after you receive the activation. And if you breathe in through your nose 3 seconds, then breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. So double the time that you breathe in. So make sure that you do that. And the activation will be for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'm going to set the timer. So make sure that you pay attention, and make sure that you get ready for the activation. For 1 minute and 30 seconds. We're going to start now. Okay, so that was the brain activation, the first activation of level 1. Like I said, if you experience light headache, if that's the case, it's totally normal and expected. So just breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, and we can, and then you will be okay. And so let me continue to share the contents for today's class. Okay, so here we have the brain cell activation formula. This is something that you will take home and practice for today. But we will have a class exercise. We will do this before we end the class. We will do it together. The time, remember I said the duration here is different. The durations for 8 to 12 years old is this time here, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For 13 to 18 years old will be 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And above 18 years old will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Make sure that when you look at the formula, you pay attention to the note section and also the name of the formula. It's right here. So it's pretty much straightforward. And I will share this formula with you right after class, at the end of class. So that way all of you will be able to receive this formula. And if you have trouble finding the link to our Telegram, there's a link that we added to our post earlier for live stream, so you can be able to find that link, and I will see if I can find the QR code and share that with you. So here we have 4 steps of the brain cell activation frequency. The first one is receive cosmic divine light, new era, energy level 1 frequency band, brain cell activation frequency, recite silently once. So you don't say it out loud. You basically visualize it. You think it in your head. We don't say it out loud, because most of the times when we say it out loud, we don't, in our head, we think about something else. We don't focus. So that's why we recommend that you recite silently in your head. And step 2 is to receive energy into the brain, and you receive the first time, you receive the second time, and you receive the third time. And 3 to 5 seconds each time. So make sure that you don't ignore this section. And send the energy, step 3, send the energy from the brain into the ERC. Send it the first time. So first, let me say what the ERC means. So the ERC is right here. It is the energy reception center. That's what we call it, ERC, short for that. So after you receive the cosmic divine light and you receive it into your brain, you send that energy from the brain, direct that energy from the brain to the ERC. So from here down to here, and you send it for 3 times. So you send it for the first time, you send it for the second time, and then you send it for the third time. Each time 3 to 5 seconds. So make sure that you don't ignore this section either. Step 4 is continuously direct the energy into the brain and transmit the energy into the ERC. So we will continue to direct the energy into the brain and then transmit it into the ERC. And let the warmth of energy spread on its own until the alarm rings. So we will practice this formula in class, and I will display this formula here for all of you, and we will practice that together for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And when you practice, notice to see if you feel any warmth, and make sure that you maintain the +1 -1. Try to maintain the +1 -1. That way you can be able to receive the energy, and you can be able to practice later on effectively. So let's get ready. we're going to practice that together for 5 minutes and 30 seconds all together. So let me play the video real quick.
This is practice session to receive Cosmic Divine Light New Era NOG Level 1 frequency band, brain cell activation frequency, for those who are above 18 years old. The timer will be set to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's begin. Step 1. Recite silently once. Receive Cosmic Divine Light New Era NOG Level 1 frequency band, brain cell activation frequency. Step 2. Receive energy into the brain 3 times. Receive first time. Receive second time. Receive third time. Step 3. Send energy from the brain into the ERC 3 times. Send first time. Send second time. Send third time. Step 4. Continuously direct energy into the brain and transmit it into the ERC. Let the warmth of energy spread on its own until alarm rings.
Okay, so that was the brain self-activation frequency formula that we just practiced together. So give me 1 second, let me show you the some of the information, some of the important information. And I'm going to leave it here for a couple minutes in case you want to take a screenshot of this formula real quick, but then I'm going to try to find the QR code for the level 1 Telegram group, so that way you can be able to access the information, the formula, and make sure that today, after this class, you practice the formula, this brain cells activation formula for today. And because tomorrow we're going to talk about other formulas, and we're going to deep dive into the benefits of learning NLG. And so make sure that you understand, you practice the method first, and so tomorrow when we have other formulas, you won't be you will know, you will just go step by step like I showed you. And I think here we have the QR code. So 1 second, so I can pull up this QR code real quick. So this is the QR code. You can use your phone to scan it real quick. Here we have the NLG notifications English channel. And here we have the NLG level 1 and 2 English chat group. This is where you can ask your questions. If you have any questions about the formula, you can drop your questions here, and one of us from the support team will get to your questions as soon as possible. And here we have the NLG level 1 and 2 English channel. I believe this is where you get the formula for level 1 and 2. I will send this brain activation formula to this group, and then you can be able to access and you can be able to practice. But remember that you practice that formula for today only, because tomorrow when I provide the stem cell activation for you, you will have a new set of formula, and you're going to practice those sets of formula moving forward until you decide to learn level 2. So that brain cell activation formula only good for today. And for tomorrow, we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about the benefits of learning NLG, and we'll talk a little bit more about how we can maintain the +1 -1 and morality throughout our daily lives, so that way you will understand clearly, and we will have time to go over the formula one by one, step by step, and we will have time for class exercise for us to practice the formula, the stem cell activation formula tomorrow again. So make sure that you don't miss that session tomorrow, because you spent all the time learning today. So join tomorrow class. And let me see if we have any questions on the chat. If not, then we will wrap up the class early, but let me check if there's any questions from participants. Okay, so look like we don't have any questions from participants. I guess because most of you are new, so you probably don't know what to ask yet. It's okay, take time, practice. Do your research, experience NLG, and see if you notice any improvements, track your progress. We want you to practice and experience the results. We want you to gain benefits. So, rather be slow and steady than fast, but you don't understand the concept and you don't practice correctly. And I think our class is pretty much comes to an end for day 1, English level 1. Tomorrow we will go through with our day 2 content, so make sure that you don't miss tomorrow. We have 1 more day to go, and after that we will be done with level 1, and you can practice the set of formulas on energy and experience the benefits. Thank you so much for sitting here with me and learning, and I hope that everything that I've shared is clear enough, is as informative as you expected. And if not, feel free to share your feedback with us. We're happy to hear it because we want to improve the process every day. We want to make sure that everyone gets the right message and learn this method correctly and practice successfully. So all of us can, enjoy happiness, can improve our health, can improve our mental health, and can help our family, because remember, we love ourselves first, and then we extend ourselves to our family, and then we can extend ourselves to a bigger community. Depends on our strength. Thank you. And if it's morning your time, I hope you have a great day. And if it's the evening where you are, I hope you have a good night. I hope you have some good rest, and don't forget to practice the brain self-activation formula. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you and goodbye.